when we launched the MIdea brand in the Philippines through partnership between Concepcion Industries and of course MIdea. And when we set to bring the brand in, what we were really looking for is not just selling boxes, not just selling product, but it's really studying the consumer, looking at the pressures and problems of the Filipino consumer, and come up with solutions that we said, look, this will make home chores easier for you. And that was brought about by several research that was conducted globally, wherein they said, I think there was a study by Time magazine, wherein they saw that in married life, in couples, even in the US, even in Asia, one of the major stress points is home chores. As a matter of fact, the home chores is what brings, lessens the amount of time that parents spend with their children, or even spouses spend time with each other. So, one of the things that we said, do this insight. Can we stop talking about the technology and the boxes, but start talking about the benefits, and really teach the consumer how they can have a more worry-free life. So this thing about happy home is not just a cliche. It's something that we study. Because obviously, if you're able to do the chores in a very worry-free manner, you don't have to worry about cost, you don't have to worry about technology in itself, then it makes the home a more harmonious home, so to speak. So that's the driving force behind bringing in our solutions. Okay? And today, the laundry is just one of the many solutions that we offer. And this is where I also have to thank our partners in Abenson. When we first introduced the MIdea brand, Abenson was one of the first major retailers to say, okay, we get it, we get what the brand stands for, and we will take risks, and we will allow you into our stores so that you can offer those solutions to our consumers. And I'm happy to say that from the time we started several years ago to today, our business with Abenson has expanded more than threefold. So, I thank again the Abenson family for allowing us into their home and allowing us to also speak to the consumers who shop in Abenson to try out their products, and then of course spread the word that we've got these very good solutions for the home. The other thing I just wanted to spend a little time on is, for our old friends, they probably heard me say this, but for those who are still new to the MIdea brand, let me tell you a little story about laundry. When we started this journey about 3 years ago, we asked wives, mothers, we asked them a question. How much do you think, or no, actually the question is more like, why don't you use a washing machine in your home? And the answer was always, oh, it's so expensive. Expensive. We said, what is expensive? The unit is expensive? And they said, no, the usage is expensive. So we asked, okay, what's your idea on the usage? And they said, 100 pesos per wash, 150 pesos per wash. So there was a lot of this guesswork that happened. And we said, look, what if we were to tell you that the electricity usage for that model that we were introducing was technically less than a peso? And they were totally floored. And let me just bring back the group. This was in 2014. Today, in 2016, you see a lot of the models upstairs, all the laundry models, have those orange tags, right? You see that? That was just introduced really recently. But I want I want the press to know that in 2014, we were already talking about usage. We were already talking about usage because the consumer has to know that it's not that expensive to operate. Now, later, as we talk about our new innovations, you'll see that we even put it further than just electricity. We're actually introducing what I call cost to wash. a total story about it. Okay, so this is something that I wanted to remind that in 2014 we were already solving one dilemma of the wives and the mothers, Filipino wives and mothers, which is they had a negative perception that these machines use up a lot of electricity. They don't. Very efficient now. And so that really caused, I mean, that's the message that our team has been sharing to the consumers. And, you know, they listened, and that's why I'm happy to say that MIdea market share in the Philippines is now in significant numbers. So, I mean, we've been able to break through. So, that I think is, again, looking at the Philippine consumer, trying to find out what problems can I solve, rather than just saying, how can I sell this product? It's a different approach. And you will see that approach across all products of MIdea. We always look at the consumer first. How does this solution help in the home? How does it make life easier? How does it make budgeting easier? So with that, you know, I mean, I hope that as we progress to the presentation, that you will start to see that this is a different launch. I'm not just here to launch a product. I'm here to really launch a different lifestyle for consumers, where they make choices. Like, one other thing I will add before I move on. It is tradition to say that, well, when you start washing, you start off with your single tub, and then you go on to twin tub, then you go on to fully auto top load. Then I challenged, you know, our partners in Abenson. I said, why is it that way? Why don't you actually talk to the consumer why they should go? And it becomes their choice of how they want to wash, rather than an upgrade. Because I don't know for you who is familiar with washing, but like, let's say even today's models, the front load ones, they actually wash more efficiently. They use less water, they use less electricity, and less detergent. And maybe that's how we should talk to the consumer, rather than saying, you know what, this one is expensive, you buy that later after this one. Why like that? And with today, with a lot of financing options and of course promotions, we can make it more available to the general public, rather than looking at it as an upgrade. Therefore, leaving it to the consumer to choose his manner of washing, rather than making it an economical upgrade or what. So again, I hope my friends in the press will see our approach is different from just a regular product launch. And I think that's the big news today. So with that, I'd like to just say thank you. So let's start off with the program. Okay? Thank you very much.
A round of applause.